Thank you so much, Perry. And thank you again, obviously, for having us over and appreciate this opportunity. Couple things. One, a few things that David hit on that I believe, he reminds me so much of. So David, I love you, brother. I've known you for going on 17 years now, and you're a dear friend of mine and a great business partner. One thing I love about him is his grit, his work ethic, and his attitude. Every single day him and I meet, you would expect we'd be talking about life and family and marriage and kids, and the number one thing we always talk about is how do we get better every single day. And a lot of things that stick into my head is his grit to want to be the best. And he reminds me of a guy, and I might get some shit for this, excuse my language, but he reminds me of an individual that some people in this room may not like, but I look up to and I see a lot of potential in, and he's done great things. There's a guy named Tom Brady. Who's a Tom Brady fan in this room? Hey, there we go. All right, good. So, you've won a lot of Super Bowls. Your C2's been number one for many, many years, more than any other wholesale broker in the country. And the one thing you look at is some owners would say, all right, you know what? I'm going to sit back and relax. We're doing great. We did $6 billion last year in volume, but that's not good enough. Number one is the mindset. Winning is the mindset. And that's one thing I love about him. And having a leader like that behind everybody here, he's the quarterback. Everyone in this room is either a running back, a receiver, a tight end. Everybody plays an equal play in this success. Everybody plays an equal play in being number one. And together, I 100% believe that C2 will be number one in the next 12 to 18 months. That's one. Two, what do those colors remind you of? My Detroit Lions, baby. Next year, we're going to do it. So that's a sign. I believe in signs, and that's a sign right there. My Detroit Lions are going to win next year. So to Perry's point, yes, I want to dig into mortgage matchup for many reasons. One, as you all know, this is one thing I'm big on at UWM. Anybody ever reaches out to me, first thing I talk about is this. Why are we so focused on pro rankings? Why does UWM care so much about pro rankings? And I get this a lot. Danny, I'm a top producer. I do a lot of loans. Why can't my volume just speak for itself? There's always a reason behind everything. And I'm going to dig into that reason and explain more in detail why we push pro rankings. One, everyone knows in this room, everything that you do on this board will make you a better loan officer. Not only help you get more business, but stay in front of your clients, be more in touch with your clients, and by hitting these, it helps you get better. Ties into referrals. For example, getting an ultimate submission. Well, why do we push ultimate submission so much? It's very simple. It makes you more efficient with my underwriters. Creates less overhead for us. Less touches on a file. That benefits not only you, but UWM, getting your loan closed in less than 10 days. That's one of the main reasons why we push the ultimate submission. Why do you attend a UWM campus visit? UWM just loves spending, I think last year was $88 million, $90 million on Success Track. No, it's not because we love spending the $90 million. It's an investment in your success. Every class that we have, there's not one person in this room that cannot take advantage of a UWM Success Track. Whether it's bringing out agents to UWM, whether it's learning about lead buys, whether it's about social media, whether it's about just being a master loan officer. Same thing with chatting with your AE. Spend some time with them. They're in every sales meeting that we're in. They're in a lot of leadership meetings. They hear from Matt Ishbia. There's always benefit to talking to your account executive. Same thing with the weekly sales huddles. Matt Ishbia. Watching our Wednesday morning meetings. I know a lot of you can't make it all the time, but at least you can watch it from home. Get that motivation. A lot of us work from home. A lot of us don't have the camaraderie that UWM has in the office. A lot of you that have been out, you guys feel the energy at UWM, right? How many in this room have been to Success Track? Raise your hand. A lot. And all of you have felt that energy there, right? You leave the office and you're like, well, damn, I can't wait to go back and just run through a wall. I've seen people build success out of coming to Success Track by creating their own Success Tracks here in California, whether it's with real estate agents, whether it's with builders, CPAs, lawyers, divorce attorneys, name them, all of them. And the same thing with our AI tools. So everyone knows the industry is going towards AI. Our biggest thing is staying in front of your tools. So Action AI, reminding you about your locks. So when you click on your Action AI, it tells you what you have to do that day to manage your pipeline. So you don't have to go in there and scramble and look and see, oh crap, I got to look at this lock. It's going to expire. Or do I know if Jenny Smith's lock's expiring? It reminds you right then and there. Just click on it every morning that you get in. You have a decent pipeline with us? Click on that. The last thing is the borrower happiness score. So what that is a simple text message that goes out to your client and asks, how was your experience with Shelly Heimer, for example? Run her on a scale of 1 to 5. Regardless of what the number is, take it as a coaching opportunity, whether it's a 5, 4, or even a 1. Gives you an opportunity to reach out to your client and ask them, What did you like about the experience? What didn't you like about the experience? You know, when we take pride at UWM, the first thing we focus on is like everyone comes up to you and says, oh, you guys are great, you close loans quick. But the one thing that we all have in common is we ask everybody is, what can we get better at as a company? We love hearing all the good stuff, right? Everyone wants to hear the praises and the I love yous and you guys are great, but I also want to hear about what we are not great at, because that's the only way we as a company get better as individuals. So I preach this, I promise you, and I'm going to dig into this deeper, why it's so important to hit on pro rankings. Also, this is another big tool, which is also going to tie into mortgage matchup. Is your profile complete? Have you gone into your profile in the UWM system, updated a professional headshot? Have you gone in there and put the right contact information? Have you went in there and talked about yourself a little bit? A lot of things I noticed too, which are big, is people put video testimonials in there from actual consumers. The other thing is your social media links. You want to tie them to your professional Facebook, your Instagram. A lot of consumers out there want to know who they're working with, but don't have the time to get to know them, right? You just go and you click and you want to see what's going on. You want to see who that individual is. That's another big one. And then, of course, your borrower reviews. So make sure, take a picture of this and make sure your profiles are complete, because that is super important. Next big tool that we offer, if you're looking to grow and develop, is if you're a branch. A lot of branches here at C2. You guys run your own operation. You guys run your own business. We have a recruiting team that can help you recruit. How many people did not know about this? Raise your hand. 25% of the room. That's a big tool. Marketing, same concept. If you're looking for marketing help, partner services can help with that. If you need culture training, you want to build a great culture inside your company, we have a pretty good culture at UWM. Why not piggyback off it, right? The other thing is training, licensing, growth. We can help you with anything you need, and it's all free of charge. That's the best part. We don't charge for any of this. The other thing is, everyone knows this year, or most of you know, it's our 40th anniversary at UWM. So we've been in business for a very long time, and thank you. And every month, we are going to be doing something big. It's a big year of celebrating. Not only celebrating UWM, but celebrating you, being part of UWM. One of them is being this. So the 40 bips on top of your 40 CYP. So this is good through the end of February. For this month, you either have to be Pro Elite or use Track Plus, which ties into Pro Rankings, right? A lot of these incentives that we are rolling out above and beyond CYP is going to be tied to Pro Rankings, which is why it's important to maintain a minimum of a Pro Elite 70 score. So that's another big one. The other big thing too is keep a lookout. You know, watch for the emails, the videos, everything that we come out with or are going to roll out, you're always going to get a heads up on. Also, before I jump into this, everything that you're going to see us promote this year is going to be tied to growth. There's going to be a lot of changes happening this year. A lot. Everyone knows we're going to have a new Fed chair. That's coming in May. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means that rates are going to drop because the president that we currently have in the administration is adamant about interest rates being cut. So the person that he's going to be putting into office is going to do a major rate cut. Trigger leads go away in March. That's another big one too. Everyone excited about that? Yeah? All right, good. But you guys know I said this last year. Just because trigger leads are gone doesn't mean these call centers aren't going to find another way to get to your consumer. Make sense? So what is the biggest thing going on right now in the industry? Data. And the crazy thing about data is it's super, super cheap. All they do is buy up data in certain states, and they just call those clients. And the scary part about that is you have no idea they're being reached out to. So stay in front of your clients. Make sure you're contacting your clients. Anyone know about this acquisition that we just did? So this is closing soon. So Two Harbors is a company that we purchased a few months ago. Should be closing here in the next few months. It was a $1.8 billion investment in servicing. What that means is we acquired their servicing portfolio, their servicing platform. Everything being done at UWM is now going to be serviced 100% in-house, with the exception of a few jumbos that we sell to JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. And we'll clap to that. We'll clap to that. So what does that mean for you? Easier access to payoffs, easier access to getting stuff inbound without having your borrower getting hounded by the current servicer. So all of that's going to be done in-house. But what else does Two Harbors do for you? Everything that they currently have in their portfolio, Allen can hit on this, I believe, is in the millions. All of this is going to get funneled into Mortgage Matchup. So if your Mortgage Matchup profile is there and you're up there in Mortgage Matchup, you're going to have the ability to take advantage of these leads. We don't have a retail. We don't prioritize Jenny Smith from Bob Marley. No matter, I don't know why that name popped in my head. But God rest his soul. But we don't pick between the two. We look at one simple thing. That is your mortgage matchup profile. And this, once the deal is closed, every single one of these leads are going to funnel through the broker channel. And it's going to go to every individual that's tied to mortgage matchup. That's going to be more opportunity for you to get your hands on more borrowers, new clients, more business. Anyone familiar with the Mortgage Matchup Center? Who's a Phoenix Suns fan in this room? Anybody? Yeah, when you call me for tickets, I'll remember that. So as you guys know, Matt Ishbia rebranded his footprint center, now called Mortgage Matchup. So the Mortgage Matchup Center is a big push. The investment that he put into the MBA and the WMBA, the constant marketing for Mortgage Matchup, above and beyond Two Harbors, everything that Ishbia does is going to be tied to Mortgage Matchup. So those leads are now going to be funneled into our Mortgage Matchup system, which is now going to go into our broker channel. So everybody in this room has an opportunity to get their hands on these leads. Again, tying this year into growth, why it's so important. Because one, everyone knows, there's a lot of retail servicing out there, and they're pushing hard on data and AI. And that's going to tie into my next point, which is, what do you have and how are you maximizing every opportunity to, one, stay in front of your clients, but two, contact your clients when the market has the opportunity to drop, and making sure that every single one of them are reached out to before anybody else has the opportunity to do the same thing. Well, same concept, right? So obviously the warm transfers from our borrower support team. You have the ability to have our team reach out if that's an option for you. Also utilizing Mia. So if you don't have your own AI, and I don't care what AI you use, it doesn't have to be Mia. Mia is obviously free. If you have your own artificial intelligence, take advantage of artificial intelligence because it's very simple. All it is them contacting the borrower and putting you in front of them. Doesn't matter what they sound like. It's letting them know that they have an opportunity to potentially refinance. If you don't have your own artificial intelligence, get one. Perfect example. Market decides to take a dip tomorrow. Let's say rates decide to drop 100 basis points. Let's all hope. But let's assume market drops 100 basis points. Our system tied to Mia will automatically call every single one of those clients in under 30 seconds. Every one of your past clients will be called. And even if they don't communicate or respond, they still get curious. The consumer wants to know what the call is about. So what are they going to do? They're going to email you. Hey, I got this call. This is from this individual. What's the market doing today? It's literally touching base with those consumers. We're all human. We can't call. Some of you have a database of thousands. You can't call every single one of those consumers at once. That's what retail servicing is doing. Tying their servicing portfolio into artificial intelligence because they've learned that they can call their whole book, tens of millions, in a matter of seconds. And they're going to try to get to that consumer before you will to try to get them in the house and refinance. We've all seen this happen before. Artificial intelligence is going to be a thing of the future when it comes to getting in front of the clients before you have the opportunity to, or vice versa. Obviously, your portfolio, and then anytime you need assistance with anything tech-related, take down that phone number on the bottom. We have our tech pros. So whether it's Mia, whether it's your profile, whether it's your Brand 360, anything tied to it, Tech Pros is the team that we have designed to help you make sure it's set up correctly and make sure it's working properly. So if you think there's something wrong with it, reach out to it. So next thing I want to do is, this individual, as you all know, has been in the industry since I was born. And, oh God, here goes my commission check. But Allen Beydoun not only is our Executive Vice President, Chief Client Officer, but he is the individual that's been in front of every mortgage broker in the country. So if there's any ounce of data, any ideas, any tips and tricks, this guy knows every single one of them. So what I want to do for the next 10 minutes is I'd like to bring him up and do a Q&A with him so he can share his best practices and what he hears from a lot of other successful individuals in the industry and have the ability to do a Q&A with them. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Allen Beydoun.
Thank you. I think Danny forgot to mention, before I get started, by the way, let's give David, Brian, Perry, and the whole C2 team for putting on such a tremendous event. Every single quarter, this thing had just real quick, when Danny talks about relationships and David, they talk about relationships, I had an opportunity to be at another event this week. But guess where I'm at today? I'm here because I understand that relationships matter. over the past 15, 16 years, C2 has been a staple for UWM, and hopefully UWM continues to be a staple for C2. So give you guys a big round of applause. You guys have been in the business for a long time. Second, Danny forgot to mention our most important investment, Built. Anybody heard of Built Rewards? And the reason why mortgage match-up is so important, there's over 5 million home renters on the Built Rewards platform, and those home renters are able to earn points, and then when they want a mortgage, they're going to click mortgage, and then based off of your pro ranking, your information, your city, your area, your zip code, that referral is going to go to you. And so hopefully everybody's striving for a Pro Elite 120, Pro Elite 140. And the biggest question I get is, Allen, why don't you just give me the referral? Well, I'm sure you guys all see what's happening in the industry today regarding RESPA, kickbacks, referrals, violations. We truly believe we're doing it the right way by making you earn it, and that's the only way to do it. We don't charge you for it. We don't want a kickback for it. We do it the right way. So Built, pretty big deal.
Yeah, big investment in Built, and that's another lead source that's going to be funneling in through the broker channel as well, too, for opportunities for everyone. So, Allen, first thing I want to talk about is, a lot of us in this industry, we see the ups and downs, right? And with the ups and downs in the industry, sometimes we have this great goal that we set for ourselves. We go, like everyone do the whole January, I'm going to the gym, and then next thing you know, you don't see results and you stop going to the gym. I've never been to the gym, so I don't know what it's like, but I've heard stories about it. And it's kind of similar to this business, right? Like we get so excited, we think rates are going to drop, we think the market's going down, and then all of a sudden something happens, someone says something stupid on the news, and the market decides to crash and go up, and then we start getting deflated. So how do you keep yourself motivated every single day, and how do you keep that mindset of maintaining that positive mindset?
Yeah, so that's simple. Look, it doesn't matter what rates are going to do or what the economy's doing. What are you going to do? You're going to switch your career? Are you going to stop being an originator, right? Are you going to stop helping others fulfill their dreams of being a homeowner or consolidating their debt, getting cash out refi, helping pay for their kids' college tuition, lowering their monthly bills? Are you going to stop doing that? Because for me, I've been in this industry for so long, and not when Danny was born, I'll remember that comment, but self-fulfillment comes from serving others. And money always follows success. So you do the right things, you really ignore the noise. It doesn't matter what the market is doing, because you do have a database out there that's going to need some help, and all you got to do is call on it. You control your work ethic. You control your attitude. As David talked about grit, you control your grit. You don't control what the market's doing. You don't control what the 10-year is doing. You don't control what's happening in China or overseas. You control here. You being here today is what I like to call getting 1% better. And every day you just get up in the morning, ignore all the noise like we talk about, ignore the 5%, right? Let other people play in the 5%. You focus on the 95% and you'll be a winner. Ignore the noise and just do what you have to do. You're in this business for a reason. Right? Number one, payday's great, but number two, helping others really goes a long way, and then you get it back in dividends, whether it's through money, whether it's through health, whether it's through success. That's what's important. That's what we do on a daily basis. So ignore it. I don't care what the market does.
I love that. I think the biggest takeaway from that is focusing on things you can't control and ignoring the things that you can't, right? Like none of us in this room can control what the market's going to do. None of us in this room are going to control what rates do. But we do control the amount of phone calls we make every day. We do control the amount of effort we put into our success, whether it's calling that agent. Oh, great, I didn't see success. I called 20 agents this week. Nobody talked to me. Well, great, guess what? Next week's a whole new week. You can do it again and again and just be repetitive. Same thing with, well, I don't see benefit in doing this. This has worked for me my whole life. That's all you know. You don't know what's better out there. You don't know what else you can do without trying it. What is the harm of trying something new to help better yourself and build your success? There's zero harm in it. You got nothing to lose by trying something new and putting yourself out there. All you can see is a successful return with it, so great with that. I love it. Second question. So this one is, this kind of hit with me a little bit. I kind of want to get your take on this, is what happens when you hit a goal and it doesn't feel as good as you expected?
I think that happens every day. For me, every day I want to accomplish 3 to 5 things. And I don't have like outrageous goals because the small wins that I have will lead up to the big wins, right? You accomplish daily things. When you set a goal, first of all, goals have to be measurable, right? You can't just wake up every morning and figure out what you're going to do for the day. No, you got to have a playbook, something to work towards to, right? Like today, I'm here at C2. I know one of my goals is to meet with 5 people one-on-one, figure out 2 things that's going good for them, 2 things that are going out, what's bad for them, right? And what's one thing they'd like to see UWM do? That's a small goal. That's one of my goals today. And if I accomplish that goal, I feel really good about it. And sometimes when you do hit a goal, and you say, oh man, maybe I didn't reach far enough. Maybe I didn't do a great job setting a higher number. But you know what? That's okay. Because you hit it. And you're already doing 99.9% better than everybody else out there in the world. Because people wake up in the morning, they don't have a daily mindset, a daily goal, or these are the 3 things that I want to accomplish. And by the way, don't get up in the morning and say, these are the 3 things I want to accomplish. I remember when I was an account executive, every night before I used to leave UWM, and I'd always leave before Matt Ishmael, which was 10 p.m. He wouldn't leave till midnight, and then he'd be back in the office at 4 in the morning. But every day before I would leave, I'd write down 5 things I want to accomplish. You know how, and I kept it simple. 1 return phone call from an LO that's never used UWM. 1 returned email from an LO that's never used UWM. And then the funniest goal, get hung up on 15 times. Yeah, I'm serious. You know why? Why would I put a goal that I wanted to get hung up on 15 times? Yeah, because I wanted to make 100 calls that day. And if 85 people picked up, that was a win. Set goals, win, have that mindset.
And I think a lot of it too is don't be afraid to invest in yourself. So there's never a bad play when it comes to investing in yourself. Is this going to cost too much? What's my return on investment? The one thing we look at UWM and one thing we're big at is we never look at an ROI. We feel like an ROI is just a dream chaser. Put your investment in yourself, whatever it costs, no matter what it is. I was just having a conversation with, is that your name, Allison Tenhouse? Are you in this room? Where are you? There you are. So she has a pretty good story, and maybe one day you guys go up to her and have her ask her about this story. So she sat there and she asked me how I'm able to do what I'm able to do at UWM. I close 1,700 loans a month, not counting C2's numbers. How do I do it, right? I created a way at UWM where I invest on myself with my team. What does that mean? So I'll give you a little bit of detail. Everyone knows I have a team of coordinators that run my day-to-day business every single day. I invest in those individuals. Most of you know who they are. And I put my time and money into that, so then I have the ability to do stuff like this. Go out and farm, go out and get new business, meet new clients, sit with them. And on top of that, I'm not jeopardizing my business and the service levels for every single one of my clients. Don't be afraid to chip in a little bit and say, you know what, this is not a bad investment. I'm going to go and get a team or go do this or go do that, and then put myself in a situation where I can reach out to new clients, where I can go meet with that real estate agent because I don't want to be so bogged down and tied into my files. Ishbi is a big winner of this. He says, multitasking means you're mediocre at everything. You cannot be perfect at multitasking. Doesn't matter who you are.
It's simple. Jack of all trades, master of none. Next question, Danny.
Next one is, do you think people grow more from chasing goals or from getting uncomfortable?
So I think it's both. For me, like I said, I like to chase small goals. And you have to do what's uncomfortable in order to get where you want. For instance, does everybody get up in the morning and work out every single day? No, nobody does, right? I mean, some people do. Some people hit the gym every day. But is it 6 days a week, 7 days a week? But the majority of people don't go to the gym every day, right? And doing the uncomfortable things or doing like a cold plunge. How many people do cold plunges in there? We were just talking about it yesterday. I would never do it, right? I don't like to be cold. But that's an uncomfortable thing that I might try. Yeah, I live in Detroit, and I still don't like to be cold. We've had the worst winter ever. But doing just the uncomfortable things, doing what matters the most, and setting yourself up for success is not going to be easy. Nobody ever said success is right there, just take it, right? No. You have to do the uncomfortable things. You have to make 100 phone calls a day. You have to do 5 realtor meetings a week, right? You have to show up to all your kids' soccer games and football games and basketball games. Life is busy. You're going to do a lot of uncomfortable things that you didn't even know that are uncomfortable that other people dream of doing. And the one thing that you're doing now is getting better. Listening to Danny, listening to David, listening to all the other speakers that are going to be here today. These are the uncomfortable things that you have to do. Next question.
If someone is feeling stuck, where should they even start?
If someone is feeling stuck, where should they start? All right, I'll give you guys a quick story, personal story. 20 years ago when I started at UWM, I was by far the worst person ever in sales.
Very true.
By far.
Very true. I second that.
And Matt, in order for you to start calling on accounts, we didn't have a training program. We didn't have anything. And Matt just gave you I'm going to date myself a little bit, the 4155 FHA handbook, right? How many people remember the 4155? Obviously I do. But gave you that book and said, go learn FHA. Because that's all we did, FHA, manufactured homes. And in order for me to start calling on brokers, is I had to do a role play with Matt. Imagine doing a role play with Matt Ishbia, who's by far one of the most intelligent people I know. And he would grade you and you would have to pass. Well, for 6 months, I failed. He wouldn't let me call on any brokers for 6 months. He could have fired me. Could have let me go. Till this day, there isn't an AE that starts at UWM, waits 6 months to call on brokers, except for Allen Beydoun. And today, I'm the Executive Vice President, Chief Client Officer of the largest lender in America, standing on stage in front of all you people. But it was the little things that got me there, right? It was the small goals. Like I said, I want to get hung up on 15 times every single day. I want to make 100 calls a day. And there was AEs closing loans and making money, and I was just sitting there and just watching for 6 months. And I'll tell you what, I learned a lot of things. I learned how to say things, what not to say, when to say, sit back, listen. That's where a lot of people make a big mistake when they're sitting down with their clients. Let them tell you what they want. And then you go in and tell them what you can offer. And I learned that at a very young time in my career. And it was so important to me.
Can you talk a little bit about the importance of time management and structure?
Yeah. Listen, some people structure their days, their 24-hour day into 15-minute intervals. I structure my day into how am I going to hit my daily goals, right? How many meetings am I having today? I'm going to have 5. 5 of them are 15 minutes. All 5 of them are 15 minutes each. 2 to 3 action items from each meeting. I don't plan my full 8-hour or 10-hour day. I plan what my goals are to help me keep that structure moving forward in that day, right? So 5 meetings, and then I have 2 Zoom calls, right? That's how I structure my day is what are my goals, what do I want to accomplish? And every night, before I go to bed, I want to accomplish 3 to 5 things. I write those things down. And that's what I did as an account executive before I left every single night. What are the 3 to 5 things I want to accomplish? And that's what really helps keep my day structured.
Thank you, Alan. Can you talk a little bit about not letting great get in the way of good?
Yeah. So this is one of my favorite things at United Wholesale Mortgage. We're going to roll out 500 things, right? And our AEs can't even keep up, by the way, let alone our brokers. But we're real big on don't let perfect get in front of good. If you're going to wait to do things, then you're just stuck in a rut. Go out there and execute. Do it. You might be at 90%, you might be at 80%, you might be at 50%. The one time we rolled out a product, our execution was at 30%. But you know what happened 6 months later? Our execution was at 100%. And we would have waited to roll out that product or take action on a suggestion that a broker gave us, some other company would have rolled it out before us. Don't wait. Go out there, execute. It's not going to be perfect. If you're waiting for perfect conditions, it's never going to happen. Take advantage of the best time is now. Oh, I got to wait to work on my mortgage matchup profile, or I got to wait to, once the C2 AI comes out, I'm going to wait to learn that. Go on ChatGPT right now and learn that. And then when the C2 AI comes out, you're going to be a professional with it. You're going to be the best. You're going to be an expert. Don't wait for perfect conditions.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We're almost out of time, right, Perry?
Yeah, we got a couple more. So one more thing I want to hit on with that too is, obviously everyone knows when we first rolled out Appraisal Direct, was it perfect? No, I got a lot of emails. I got a lot of complaints. How many people had?
That was the 30% I was talking about.
How many people hated Track when it first rolled out? Raise your hand. All right, gotten way better. So it's like we don't let it get in the way because we know eventually it's going to get perfected. Like we're going to roll it out because we want to be the first to get it out, and then from there we want to be able to have it out before everybody else, so that way you guys can take advantage of it as well. Allen, last question. How do you structure your personal life and your professional life? I mean, obviously we all know that things happen, right? Things change, something can come up in life. We all have that in our lives. I had a unfortunate scare, thank God everything's good now, but back in December, and it put me away for 2 weeks. Like there's things that happen in our life that could hold us back for a little bit. And I guess, how do you overcome that? And how are you able to separate and make sure that you still have enough time for your family, at the same time have enough time to make sure you dominate and do what you do every single day?
Yeah, so over the years, and Matt talks about this all the time, number one, how do you build leadership capital with your people, right? Whether you're building leadership capital with your processors, with your real estate agents, with your C2 family, right? There's your family, and then there's your work family. And for me, over the past 20 years, I have two families. I have the Beydoun household, and I have people that I love at UWM. And that's my UWM family, which has been great to me. Work-life balance, whoever tells you, hey, I have a great work-life balance, is lying to you, right? But you need to decide. You need to decide if you're going to show up to your kids' football games, to their soccer games, to their practices. And while you're doing that, you got to be 100% all in. And then you need to decide when you're at work and you're taking that application, are you 100% focused on your client? Are you 100% focused on their needs, their goals? There is no 50% work and 50% life. That doesn't exist. What exists is how you decide to take actions on the things that you're doing now. And when you have a company like C2, like I said, I could have been somewhere else this week, but I know what the C2 leadership team stands for. They stand for work, family, happiness. They built a great culture. They put events on like this. Guys, these events, I know what these events cost. It's not cheap. They're making an investment in you. So when somebody makes an investment in you, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to give 150%. I took 90 days off in 2023. 90 days. But guess what? My work family cared about me. I still had my life. And I was able to still focus on doing things for UWM and taking care of my family. There's no situation where you say, oh man, I'm going to put this off to the side, or I'm not going to do this. Go out there and do it. There's no work-life balance. Zero, it doesn't exist. I'm going to join a company that's going to give me work-life balance, and excuse my French, is bullshit. If you love what you're doing, there is no work. It's all life. Like I said, self-fulfillment comes from serving others. For me, I love the mortgage industry. I love what you guys do. I love that you put somebody in a better payment. I love that you help somebody become a homeowner. Does that work? No, it's life.
And I love that you hit on that because that's the nail on the head. You know, you guys, I've known a lot of you for going on 17 years. A lot of you I consider family in this room. I've known you guys know more about me than some of my own cousins. And it's true. You know, like we spend so much time together, and I appreciate every moment that we have. And, you know, I love you guys. I do. You know, I've been with you guys for almost the beginning of my career, and you guys all mean the world to me. And, you know, I do my best to make sure I can give you everything to be successful. And I promise you this, you have this coming from me, and I'll say this right now. I will do everything in my power to make sure everybody in this room is successful in 2026 and beyond. That is my promise to everybody in this room. I love you guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Oh, Danny. Dan.
Oh. I can't see, so do we take it?
That's great.
I'm like blinded by the light.
Amazing.
Thank you guys.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you.
Really great.